Good morning. It's Monday morning, and I'm headed up to what I call up north. And I wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit of a sensitive subject right now. To tell you a little bit about me, I'm originally from what I consider up north. Farming country. You know, a lot of farms, a lot of animals. Everybody hunted, fished. Our grandparents and parents canned, and they always prepped. And so I kind of grew up around that. We moved to the city when I was young because my dad worked for the big three. And, you know, I talked to some people from the city, and like when you talk to them about prepping or whatever, they kind of think you're crazy because you look at a lot of these young kids and they think that your food just comes from a grocery store. They don't realize that, well, a farmer did that stuff so that you can have food. Your hamburger didn't just appear. It came from a cow. Those sausages that you like, they come from a pig. And that chicken comes from a real chicken. So when you say something to them and they're like, and I've ran into some adults like this too, by the way, but, you know, you're like, well, what if there's no food? Well, I'll go to the grocery store. Well, what if the grocery store doesn't have it? I guess then you're in trouble, huh? So anyway, excuse me, this is to talk a little bit about a couple of years ago, you know, when Rona started. My son, he told me, he said, Mom, you need to do some research. So I did. And I believe we're headed to a very not good place. You look at the economy, gas prices, holy gosh. Here in Michigan, you know, most places are close to $4.50 a gallon. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then you look at the prices, like I did a Walmart order last night, and the mozzarella cheese that I've been paying $5.98 for the last year and a half went to $7.98. $2. You know, I mean, you look at things like that, and you know, pasta sauce from Walmart was 98 cents, and last I looked it was $1.40. And you know, we don't think about that, you know, oh, that's not that bad. But when you add up a whole grocery bill, that's a ton of money. So I've been watching all these channels, and they're prepping channels, they're, you know, doomsday channels, there's all kinds of just different things. I don't want my channel to be a doomsday channel. I want it to be positive and to help one another out. But I want to be realistic too. I want to build this channel, and I only have 12 subscribers, so hopefully you guys can help me get more. But I want to be realistic and truthful. Now, with the situation that's going on with, you know, across the seas, and, you know, there's wars, and there won't be fertilizer, and we're lucky if we're going to get antibiotics, and just all different kinds of things, and wheat, and, you know, people, I have issues with wheat anyway, but, so I try not to eat a lot of it, but when I do, I get sick. But there's wheat in just about everything you eat. Things that you wouldn't even think that would have wheat has it in there. You know, I compared this to a neighbor of mine, you know, when it comes to farming. Let's say you got an acre of, you know, corn. And let's say that acre puts out 10 bushels of corn. That's not realistic, but let's say it does. Okay, so normally with your fertilizer, you put out 10 bushels. Now, all of a sudden, without fertilizer, you're only going to put out 3 bushels of corn. That farmer's in the hole before he even starts. So why would he even produce anything? We don't think about things like that, you know. The price of diesel, $5.25. You know, you look at propane, all these things that farmers need to be able to get our food into the field and to be able to produce the animals that they do. They're trying to push the Green New Deal through, which I'm sure we need to work with our planet. I agree with that, but you know, the zero emission and all this crap, they're just pushing it fast and hard, faster than what we can keep up with, I think. So my thing is, starting about a year ago, I started thinking about all this stuff that's happening. And I don't know if I told you, but I have 3 sons and 3 daughter-in-laws and a grandson and another grandson that's due next month. And these kids don't prep up, you know. To some degree, I guess they do, but not really. They've got maybe a week of groceries in their house, if that, you know what I mean? So I got to thinking, what if the crap hit the fan and you can't get any food? So I started stocking up, and I started, you know, canning, preserving, dehydrating, freezing, all these things. And then I thought, you know, if I'm going to do that, I need to prepare for a family of 8. Well, now there's 2 little kids, so a family of 10. Because I'm not going to watch my family starve. That's just not something I'm going to do. So I've been working even harder at it. And, you know, when I say prep, that doesn't mean you go out and buy the store out. Remember what we went through with the toilet paper? I really did need toilet paper. I wasn't, like, hoarding it, stocking it up or anything. I was sincerely down to 2 rolls. I had to drive 30 miles to get a package of toilet paper. I mean, that is just so ridiculous. But imagine if it did that with toilet paper. Can you imagine what would happen with food and water? Things that we actually need to survive. I mean, if you want to get weird, there's still leaves outside if you need to go to the bathroom. But food and water is something that you cannot survive without. So when I say prepping, I don't mean go out and buy, you know, go to Walmart and fill 10 carts full of groceries or go to Sam's or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this week when you go grocery shopping and you're going to buy a couple cans of corn, buy 5 cans. You know, if you need peas or, you know, I suggest you do things like canned meat, canned goods, vegetables, fruits, your dry products, you know, things like oatmeal, rice. Do you know in some places you can't even get the oatmeal and rice right now? But those are the things you need to stock up, stuff that will fill you and that has, you know, really good caloric intake so that, you know, that it can happen. I mean, I look at people and I say to them when they think that I'm crazy for stocking up, you know, it's like this. So I buy my food now before all the economy really hits bad. And if nothing happens to our food supply chain, then I guess I just paid less for my groceries than you did. So it's not like it's going to go bad overnight and I can't use it. So it's a win-win situation. If things do get bad, I've got food for my family. If things don't, I got a lot of groceries to eat on for a long time. Because, you know, canned goods will last way past their expiration date, as long as they're kept in a cool, dry place. Not too hot, not too cold. So the canning, by the way, I did a video yesterday on how to can chili beans, and, well, the voice didn't work on it, so I didn't get to do the video. But anyway, I told you I'll get better at this. But anyway, I've been doing the canning and the prepping, and that's kind of what I want to teach people to do. You know, my one neighbor, his roommate's like, that only lasts a couple of months. No, it isn't. You know, how do you think that our ancestors survived? they harvested once a year, and they didn't have refrigeration. You know, they had ice houses in some places, but what about the really poor people that didn't have that? You know, they preserved meat with salt. They canned their foods. They dried them outside. They didn't have our fancy-dancy dehydrators now. They made their own spices. They made their own, you know, they grind their own wheat. They made their own bread. The canning can last a very long time. And now with pressure canning, there's not really anything that you can't preserve. I mean, my neighbor that you see in my videos all the time, he cans milk. You know, it doesn't take long to do it, and he's tasted it, and it's really good. I've canned butter. I have canned bread, cakes, things like that. So if, you know, if it does hit bad, then you still have a sweet tooth. Excuse me. You've got it. So I'm going to do more videos like this in the future, but I really think that, you know, I've told everybody to prepare, be ready, stock up. You know, it's just like when you go shopping, you know, and you're aware of your surroundings. Like if you're in the middle of a mall parking lot and, you know, you're all by yourself, you kind of look around and make sure that you're okay, or you get your keys out before you go in. That's something most of us women have all learned, you know, have your keys ready before you go to the parking lot. I'm telling you, it's the same way with food and water and protection for you and your family. With the things that are going on now, I'm not going to say what my affiliation is or anything like that, but with the way things are right now, I don't feel safe. I don't feel that with our supply chain and gas prices and everything else, I don't feel that we're in a safe place. I don't believe we're headed in a good direction. And above all things, you know, yesterday was Mother's Day, and for those of us that are moms, the one thing in this world that we know that we'll always do is we'll provide and protect for our children. It doesn't matter how old they are. We love them, and we lay our life down on the line for them. And so every time I prep something, every time I, you know, preserve something, I think to myself, you know, if something happened to me today, would my family still be taken care of? I think about them more than anything in the world. You know, I mean, I think about my job, my husband, my life, everything like that. But I think every day that, you know, no matter that they're older and, you know, some of them are having kids of their own, what's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to my grandkids? And we have to kind of think about that. We got to think about, you know, if things do happen bad. I mean, you look back to, you know, when the Great Depression happened and you had to get letters and things like that, that you might get a cup of sugar. You might get, you know, this or that, whatever. And is that how you want to support your family? But, you know, people during the Depression, they lived too. They survived because they grew their own food. They learned to barter. They learned to share. They became a community. Like in my neighborhood, they're my neighbors, but honestly, they're my family. You know, we all look out for each other. For living in the city, I have a great set of neighbors, and I would do for any of them, and they would do for me. I've known them for years, some of them since I was 8 years old. And we'll protect each other. You know, if one person doesn't have, the other person does. And we need to get that community together, people that you know that you can depend on. I'm going to cuss, because if the shit hits the fan, you can't do everything alone. You can't make it on your own. You're going to need friends or family. And, I mean, I'm not saying all this stuff to try to scare you, but I'm just saying we need to be realistic and look at where things are headed. And we need to make sure... Sorry, I'm going through road construction. It's kind of noisy. We need to make sure our families are provided for. Whether they're little and they're at home and we need to take care of them, or if they're big and they're making babies of their own, you still got a family to look out for. Think about things like you keep seeing in the news that, baby formula shortages. Well, I have a grandbaby due next month. I know a friend of mine that's got a grandbaby due, I think it's July or August, and then she's got another one due in October, and I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do if they run out of formula and they can't feed our babies? It's really scary, but honestly, there is a recipe for that too. So maybe one day I'll post that. I'll find it and post it for you, because, I mean, when you can't feed your baby, that's a pretty serious situation. And so I imagine baby food and stuff like that's going to become up shortage too. But you do know that you can have your friends save your baby food jars, and those can be recanned, and you can make your own baby food. My youngest, he never ate store-bought baby food. I always made all of his own. All it took was a little tiny food processor, a little one, and a little bit of time, and I froze it and then pulled it out as he needed it. I didn't buy any store-bought baby food for him. But I'm going to do more videos here and there. And, if you have questions on stocking up and prepping and preparing, I'll answer every question I possibly can. But I'm just saying, from me to you, your family, my family, I just want to help you prepare and be ready in case it does. And that's what this channel is going to be about. We need to make sure that our families are safe, and that, we have sustenance of life, which is food and water. But, so I'm going to cut this video off and enjoy my ride up north today for work. And I'll do more, but I'm going to show you more videos on canning and cooking and different recipes and things like that. But sometimes we're going to have this talk about different things that are going on. And hopefully they don't ban my station, my channel already. That would suck, wouldn't it? With only 12 subscribers. But anyway, if you can like, share, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it, because I truly feel like I'm not in it for the money. When that comes, that'd be great. But I really do want to, I feel like I have something to offer. And hopefully you feel the same way. So have a great Monday afternoon. I'm going to go up and hopefully sign up a new deal and enjoy a little bit of Northern Drive. And you have a wonderful day.